Okay, let's look at some more equations of motion. So when you've got this problem here, the car accelerates at 4 metres a second per second, travels a distance of 30 metres. Calculate the car's starting speed if the final speed is 24. So best advice is to actually write down the quantities. A is 4. Distance is actually a displacement, S, not a speed, 30 metres. Car's starting speed at the end, car's starting speed we're trying to find out, so VO we don't know. And the final speed is 24, that's VT. So you need to choose the equation from your list then that actually involves those. So it's the one with that time in it, so you'd be doing VT squared equals VO squared plus 2AS. And then you substitute underneath that. So you've got 24 squared equals the unknown squared plus 2 times by 4 times by 30. So this is actually the add sign here we're looking at. We would probably combine the multiplied bit first using bed maths. So it's going to be 2 times 4 times 30, which is 8 30s, which is 240, which you can do on a calculator, equals 24 squared. You can work that on a calculator as well if you like. Okay. So to solve for VO squared, we need to move that 240 added first. So you've got your 24 squared plus your 240. Okay, so 24 squared would be 576 plus the 240 equals VO squared. So VO should be the square root of whatever that turns out to be, which is 816. Because to do the opposite of squaring, you would square root it. And if you do that, you get the answer of about 28.6, just rounding it off there. So it's 28.6 metres a second as a starting speed. Okay, look at the next problem here. A ball is dropped and lands after falling 25 metres. Calculate the time in the air. So it's dropped. The O would be 0. Acceleration downwards because of gravity is minus 10. And it's falling down 25 metres. Now that's actually the displacement. So down would be a minus. And we're trying to find time. Okay, based on those 4 quantities here, we're missing the VT, so you need to find that formula with that VT in it. So you've got V0 times by T plus a half AT squared. So we've got minus 25 in for S. And the VO is 0, so that whole thing could be given as a 0, plus a half of minus 10 times by the T squared, which is the unknown. So we need to get T squared on its own. We need to get rid of all this stuff over here. The half times by minus 10, so that's minus 5. So you've got minus 25 equals minus 5 times by t squared. So we're timesing by t squared there, the minus 5. We need to divide by minus 5 on the other side to get t squared on its own. So 2 negatives divided will cancel out. You'll get the positive there, and 25 over 5 is 5. So t would need to be the square root of 5. So if you look that up in there, you'll be getting an answer of 2.24, pretty close to, in seconds. So just remember when you're asked to rearrange formulas to try and actually do the reverse operation in the reverse order as it was formed. So if you were trying to find the t here, you've got to remove the u and the a. So I would say that the times by a occurred first when they formed this equation, and then you basically added it to u after that. So you need to do the reverse order operations in the reverse. So the first thing you would do is actually subtract the minus u to get rid of the u. So you do v take u, and if you subtract the u on this side, on the right, you end up with just the at. So then the next thing you do is to reverse that last part, the first part that was done, and that would be to get rid of the times by a. You would divide by a on both sides, so that a will go, and the a will come over here and divide on that side. And the reason that goes is because you're dividing a by a, and they cancel to ones. You're left with a t. If you're looking at the second equation here, and you're trying to find, say, the s here, you would have to do a similar thing. I would say that this was times by s first, and then this was added, so we need to get rid of the last step first. So you would do vt squared take VO squared equals 2as as a reverse operation. And then to get the s, we need to do divide by 2a, because at the moment this is 2a times by s. dt squared minus va squared divide by 2a equals s. So you can actually rearrange your formulas first, but most people substitute the numbers first and then rearrange it because it's easier.